Africa is going digital. That's the word from research group McKinsey. Their study measures the Iconomy, the segment of the economy that's driven by the internet. The results are surprising. McKinsey says the Iconomy could contribute as much as 10% of Africa's GDP in the next decade. It's the kind of growth that could transform thousands of lives.
When people get online, when businesses become internet savvy, when consumers start using the internet, it creates surplus because they pay less for things. It makes the economy much more productive, and it creates jobs. Over the next 10, 15 years, the internet is going to drive about $300 billion of GDP in the African continent.
McKinsey's rankings show that Senegal and Kenya are setting the pace when it comes to the Iconomy. South Africa is lagging behind, sitting in 5th place on the continent.
In places like Kenya and Senegal, where there's made a lot of progress in terms of our GDP, these are much smaller economies and it is easier to move the needle, if you will. South Africa has tremendous opportunity, and if South Africa takes ownership of the internet world, it could actually be a huge source of growth for this economy.
Many Africans are now using smartphones to connect. They've become a sort of mobile office, a one-stop shop for entrepreneurs. Ugandan-born Alpesh Patel is the founder of MyPhone, the continent's first mobile devices brand. Young, passionate and ambitious, Patel started the company 5 years ago and now operates in more than 15 African countries.
In traditional terms, the world is round, but right now the world is a 4-inch rectangular screen for most mass-market African consumers. The 4-inch smartphone, 5-inch smartphone is their window to the world. From this window, they'll be able to access goods, services, information, knowledge, which ultimately results in empowerment.
Patel is set to start selling his devices here in South Africa in the next 2 months. But he says red tape can make things tricky.
The rest of Africa is moving much faster than what South Africa is moving. And I love South Africa, and I think it's a very advanced economy, but the problem is there's too much regulation here. The problem is that today, ours is MyPhone. We are about to enter the South African market, but we don't, everything here is network approved. But my phone today, the MyPhone that I use today is not network approved, and it works fantastically on every network here. So why do I need to go through a network approval? I've got my ICASA, and I think there's too many barriers. Okay, so I think the barriers have to be lessened in terms of the mass market South African consumers. 20 million of the people in South Africa today do not even have internet access. How are they going to get it buying iPhones? They can't afford iPhones.
The economy could change the way Africa does business. There's massive potential in sectors like financial services, education, health, retail, and even agriculture. But access is critical. The economy can't grow nearly as fast if ordinary people can't use the net. And that's the real challenge facing African leaders here in Davos. At the moment, just 5% of the continent has a smartphone. McKinsey believes that in just a decade, over half the population could have one of these in their hands if we play our cards right. NIKIWE, BIKITSHA, Davos, Switzerland.